Hi, this is Greg Jameson, and I want to welcome you to today's presentation on your new club website for Toastmasters. The purpose of why Toastmasters decided to put out a new platform for the club websites was partly to build brand consistency across all of the clubs. There was also a number of new features that needed to be added, and that's been done with the content management system on the back end of the website as well. It's also a tool for attracting new members, as well as a tool for communicating amongst existing members. And it does a very good job of this. I'm going to spend just a few minutes here talking about setting up the site in case anyone has been assigned the role of being the site administrator. To do this, you simply go to toastmastersclubs.org. If you go to the previous website, you'll notice that there's actually an update notice. You have to go to 2.0 because 1.0 is no longer going to be supported. Once you have filled out the information, an email is going to be sent out, and it's going to say, hey, congratulations, your new website's been set up and ready to go. Here's your address, and the address will be the clubnumber.toastmastersclubs.org. And it will assign you your administration login, which is going to be your club number, and a random password. It also gives you a link to the support site and says thank you. You go to that, your clubnumber.toastmastersclubs.org, and you'll see in the menu item on the left-hand side that says Launch the Admin Console. And you'll want to do that. And when you do that, there's going to be a number of different things that you can put in here. One is a website alias. So instead of going to your clubnumber.toastmastersclubs.org, you can have the site be, for example, castlerock.toastmastersclubs.org. And you can give it a club name and set some other things here. And there's also a select thing up here. The first one that we're doing is selecting the website settings. The next thing that is on that list is membership management. And there's a couple of things here that are really important to note. One is there's no upgrade path from the previous website, which means that you absolutely have to re-enter everything, including member information, club information, and any previous agendas. Only one site administrator is allowed with this new system, so that site administrator is the one that has to try to import as much of this information as possible from the previous site. Now there are some other people, including the Vice President of Education, that have certain rights that other members don't have, but there is just a single site administrator. Now, as I said, the next option here down is membership management, and when you click on that, it brings up the list where you can enter in all of the members. And for the Castle Rock Club, I went ahead and did this, and you can see that it has the name, a space, an email address, and if we have it, a phone number. There's also a message here that says, in order to keep historical information accurate, you should not delete anybody out of this list ever. Instead, you go to select role here and set them to former member instead. The other thing with the administrator area is that you can put together a default meeting agenda by going to the meeting agenda settings. And in this, we're actually going to put in the start time and end time of every agenda item. So, for example, you can see here at 7 a.m. the president opens the meeting and he turns it over to the Toastmaster by 7:01 a.m. And then the Toastmaster introduces any guests and so forth from 7:01 to 7:03. And you have to do this for every single menu item. But once that's done, that can become your default agenda for each subsequent meeting. And both the VP of Education and the Toastmaster that has been assigned to that particular meeting will be able to control the individual agendas. So that's a quick overview of the administrator area. But what I want to spend the bulk of the time on today is talking about what you as a member can do on this new website. And there's 4 basic things that I want to talk about: logging in, the meeting agendas, the club emails, and editing your profile. We're going to start by what happens when you try to log in for the first time. And when you first visit the site, it doesn't know who you are. You basically have to tell it who you are by authenticating this, and to do that you simply log in without a password. Now if your name has been entered in that list that I just showed you, you should be able to do this. So what you'll do is you'll click on the member login link, and when the login screen appears, you simply start typing in your name or your email address, and once a match is found, then your member ID will appear right below it. I'm going to jump over to the actual website here, and you'll see here it says member login. And what you do is you start typing in your name, and I'll just put in Greg, and it finds me. And I have to then click on it. I can't continue to type in my whole name. After it finds me, I click on it, and then I can enter in my password if I have previously logged in. If I've never logged in, then I simply authenticate the first time. I'll go ahead and log in, and I'm going to jump back to the presentation here. So you'll notice that you get that drop-down list, and you click on Authenticate. You can't just type in your name. You have to click on the Authenticate after it has that drop-down list. And if the website doesn't find you, then it probably means that I, as the administrator, didn't set you up in the system for some reason. And then you'll get an email. The email that I have in the system is the email address that this is going to come to, and you'll click on the link that it gives you. And the email is going to look something like this. And so you simply click on that link in order to set up your password. So then you click on Set Password from that link, and this allows you to log into the future without having to authenticate again. The thing to notice here is that your password has to be at least 6 characters long and contain only letters and numbers. So this is the message that you're going to see. It's going to say password, re-enter your password, and set the password. And you'll get a notification back that says, congratulations, you've now logged in and set up your password. So you close that window, you're logged in, and you're ready to go. Note here from the documentation, if you can't log in, it's probably due to your Internet Explorer cookie settings, and if you have a problem with that, you can contact me individually. Now, if you want to add or remove events in the calendar, that's actually really easy for every single member to do. Now, if you do this, you can only add and edit your own events, but the site administrator can go in and remove any event. So let's jump over to the website here, and you'll notice here that there's a link that says Club Calendar. You click on that, and you want to put in something into this, and for example, next Tuesday, I can type in Program Expo. And there isn't one. This is a one-time. I'm not going to add it as the administrator, even though I'm logged in as that. I'm going to just put it in as me. And I'm going to create the event. And that's basically what it does, is it puts in a single full-day event. If I click on it again, then I can come in here and I can edit the event or delete it. And I may want to edit this because what I'm actually doing there is at 11:30, Greg is signing books. And then I can edit that event. So this is what we just showed you here to add an all-day event. Just click in the day that you want to add the event, and it will do it. That's the simplest way to do it, and then you can just put in a time in there the way that I showed you, if that's information that everyone that visits the club website would need to know. Here's a screen capture of that. To remove it, you simply click on the event. If I want to remove that event, I just click on it, and I can delete the event. And it takes it out of the club calendar. If I am not logged in and I click on an event and I had put a URL in that event, then it would have taken me to that. But since I'm logged in, it just allows me to go in and either edit or delete an event. And you get that confirmation and it deletes it. There are only 3 instances where someone has full access to the agenda that shows on the website. The first is the website administrator, the second is the vice president of education, and the third is the Toastmaster that has been assigned to that particular meeting. And all those people have what's called extended access to the agenda. So when you are the Toastmaster, you will be able to go in and edit the agenda for that particular meeting. If you're also listed as the Vice President of Education, then you'll have extended access to all the agendas that are in the system, so you can go in and create agendas as they're coming up for each meeting. Some of the things you can do when you have extended access: you can edit the speaker's speech information, you can print the speaker's introduction, and most importantly, you can update and print the agenda. So this is what an agenda looks like on the website. And there are certain meeting agenda items. Rather than going through the PowerPoint here, I'm going to show you this live on the website. So we can come over here to, on the left-hand side, the club calendar is where we just were. And you'll notice that there is an agenda sign for this date here. Now, if I'm not logged in, I just come in and I look at that as a person out on the internet, perhaps a potential visitor, I can see that agenda, but I can't edit it. For members, you would go to meeting agendas down here. And you'll see that there's actually a couple different things that happen in here. One is that as of right now, for this meeting, we don't have a joke master. And someone can simply click on the sign up button, and that will go in and sign them up to fill that slot. This is a really cool thing. If I want to edit this agenda, and I am the Toastmaster, then I can click on the little pencil icon here, which is Edit This Meeting Agenda, and you'll see that this interface comes up that has the entire agenda in here. Now in this case here, one of the things that I can do is I can actually assign different people. So for example, if Kirk wasn't going to be at a meeting and someone else was going to basically fill his shoes as the president for opening up the meeting, then you could choose that new person and then hit Save the Agenda. You can delete particular menu items. So for example, today we really don't have a third speaker. So I could delete speech number 3. And if I do that, I also need to delete probably speech evaluator number 3. So I can come in and I can delete items, I can add new items, rearrange the menu however I want to, assign people to their particular roles. So the timer, today it's Amber, If she's not going to be available, and she sent out an email to me letting me know that, I can change that around, and so forth. When I'm all done, I hit save. I'm going to just hit close in this case, and it will regenerate my screen with any changes that I have put in here. The other thing that's kind of nice is that the speaker themselves or the person that is assigning the tasks here can actually put this in. So, for example, today I'm not giving a dramatic talk. I'm giving technical presentations, and it's called Your New Website. And I can simply update the speech details. So it's real easy to see exactly what someone's doing that particular week, and if you want to put some additional information in there, you can. Once the agenda has been all set, there is an icon here that says Print this meeting agenda. And if I click on that, my print screen comes up, and you can see that the agenda is already all laid out, so you can just print that each week directly off of the website. You don't have to go in and try to copy and paste things into a Word document anymore. So let's jump back here, and we'll scroll through some of these slides real quick because we did this live on the internet. There again is the print option. Unfilled roles, you can sign up. And now let's take a look at club email addresses. The club email addresses is basically going to have a group here that's called members-3680@toastmastersclubs.org. If you now send an email out to that email address, everybody on the list is going to get the email. So you no longer have to do a carbon copy or a blind carbon copy on your emails themselves. Just send it to this address, and if somebody's no longer a club member, they won't get the emails anymore. And anybody that is a current club member will get the emails. So this is a very powerful thing with the new website. The other thing that you need to look at here is keeping your profile up to date and complete. When you've got your welcome email, there's already some basic information that's been entered, such as your phone number and so forth, and probably the email address. But it's really up to you to go in there and keep your own profile up to date. And you do this by clicking Edit Your Member Profile, private member directory link under the menus, Members Only menu. So Members Only, edit your profile. You can choose whether or not to make your profile public and put in various pieces of information. You can upload a photo of yourself and put in a bio as well as like your LinkedIn URL and your Facebook URL and a few other things. And then you want to make sure that you hit the save button. So for example, when you go to the private member directory, you'll see something like this under mine. And let's just actually jump over to the website real quick. And we will go to the private member directory. And you can see here everyone that's in here. Shannon has already put in her information. Craig's put in his information. So we've already got some people that have figured out how to get into the website and do this. If you need any further help, you can go to support.toastmastersclubs.org. They have a user's guide there. Just go to Docs, User's Guide, and there's also a video that you can watch here that goes through all of the different steps. And this is like a half-hour long video. Brings this up and just hit play. Thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.